What up, people? Hello. How are you all? It has been quite a while since I have been on here. I almost forgot how everything works. So let me know if you guys can hear me okay. And as I talk, I'm going to play some tunes because we always have our tunes on. And yeah, let me know if it's too loud or too soft because I don't know what you guys can hear. But yeah, this is the first time I've been on a stream since I think was it August 11th, 2024. So much has been happening in that time. I have moved. I am no longer in Los Angeles. I'm in East Texas now. I got married. My lovely wife is here saying happy birthday. Thank you so much, love. And thank you, Manette. Thank you, Talia, for saying happy birthday. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, so this is uh, very, very wild for me to come back here. I didn't know when I was going to come back. I didn't know how long it would be either. But it means so much to me that you guys have waited this long and are sticking around. Um, and I think we're getting a special guest appearance. One of the other changes, I now have a cat or two cats. One of them just walked in. I don't think he wants to talk to me though. If he comes on the stream, I'll show him. I'll show him off. But let's see. Hi everyone, happy birthday! Thank you. So yeah, we're gonna get to drawing. I need a second because it's been so long. I'm like, wow, I'm actually streaming again. It's really bizarre. But first things first, I want to show you guys this new Javen illustration here. It's an update from one that I had a long time ago. I don't even know if I have the file like with me right now, but I have been working on updating the style of shadow boxers. Wait, is this it? Oh yeah, here we go. This is from a character design workshop I did at the library not too long ago at the local library, and you could kind of see the difference in how Javen looks just here. I'm trying to make it like a little bit more edgy, a little bit more refined, kind of inspired by like Spider-Verse and Legend of Korra. And oh shoot, I forgot my water. We gotta do our hydration check. Where's my water? Give me a second, guys. Just bear with me because I forgot a couple things. Where's my water? Yeah, give me 1 sec. Sorry, I know this is unprofessional. Hold on. See, that's how I tell you how long it has been. For those who don't remember, every time Spider-Man, Jack and Daxter, or Avatar is brought up, we gotta do a hydration check. So this is our first one for the night. Oh man, yes, gotta stay hydrated, especially for today. I had a very fun day, and I'll tell you guys about it as I draw. But I did want to share something with you all before we get into all the drawing. First off, we have updated the Shadowboxers website, and oh wait, he hasn't been as hydrated ever since. That might be true. Talia says, "I remember." Yes, okay. So I'm glad you guys remember. So we've updated the Shadowboxers site. We've got some new stuff on here. One of the new things is actually we have a gallery, and not only do you have some of my work on here, some of the you guys might even remember from the streams in the past, but I also took some time and put some of your work up there, stuff that you guys have been posting in the Discord, which is free, by the way. If you're not in the Discord, there's a link in the description below. You are more than welcome to join and just be a part of the community. But I've shared some of your work. I hope you guys don't mind. But yeah, you guys have done some really cool stuff, and I was like, you know what? Let's just build the community up and let's add this to the site. So I'm not making any money off of this, by the way. It's just I wanted to share. So hopefully you guys are all cool with it. If for some reason you see your work and you are not okay with it, just tell me in Discord or Instagram or something, and I'll take it down. But yeah, thank you guys for your work. See, we got Manette in here who's in the stream. Got her work in here. Another cool thing is we have updated our shop. So the thing I'm most proud of is our new book. So let me show you guys this. Let me grab a book near me. So we have recently put out a book, The Art of Shadow Boxers. I know it's probably a little bit fuzzy for you guys, but it is a collection of artwork that has been done either on the stream or in my personal time. And it has a lot of really cool artwork. I think some of these, I know these two characters for sure were done on live stream. We got some powers and we have some extra information about Shadow Boxers. So if you don't have a copy of this, you are more than welcome to getting a copy. The link is also in the description below. And I have physical and digital copies available. And because I'm coming back and because I love you guys so much for your support, we have a special gift for you guys. I have a 15% off coupon code for every item in the store for today and tomorrow. So it will end at 11:59 on January 19th because it's late in the day. I figured, give you guys some time. But if you want something, use this code to get 50% off anything in the store. And again, we have some really cool stuff. We have our books. We got some new shirts here. Be the light, which is our new slogan for Shadow Boxers. We got some oldies but goodies, some favorites here. We have new hats available, some beanies. I have my beanie somewhere, but my wife told me that my hair looks good, so I shouldn't cover it up. So yeah, we got water bottles and we even got some sketchbooks. We gave the sketchbook to a young friend of ours, and she is drawing in it all the time, and it's super awesome. And let's see. Happy birthday, Jordan. I love your new website and merch. Thank you, Khalid. See, Khalid also got one of the beanies, and he texted me the other day and said it was super warm and it kept him solid while he was traveling. So thank you so much for your support, man. And then we got who is formerly Toasty Shrimp, Electric Cavocado. What is Electrica Avocado? I'm not sure exactly. Electric Avocado. Thank you for popping in, homie. Appreciate you. I'm curious why the name has changed though, because I think everyone was expecting Toasty Shrimp. So yeah. But so I'm gonna get started on work on some comic stuff. I'm really liking how these panels were, so I might start doing a little bit of light inking once I can find my pen. There was actually one other thing that I did want to show you guys before I move to this. Let me jump on here. I have been trying to do some like light animation, so don't mind that he's naked right now. He will be clothed, but I have been working on refining his design. And I was like, it would be so cool if I could just get him in a perfectly animated turnaround. So depending on how you guys feel, maybe I'll do this for the next stream. So yeah, we will see. But yeah, just wanted to show that to you guys because I'm very proud of it. But yeah, let me get going. And I also am going to give you guys the freedom to ask me what's been going on the last few years. Things have been pretty insane, good and bad. But yeah, let's get to drawing. What you guys are all here for? Let's see. I think I'm gonna just start with our boy Javen over here. Let's start working on this panel right here. Wrong page, right? Yeah, page 6. I'm still trying to remember like how I organized this. Here we go. So my day was really cool. I got breakfast in bed for my birthday. Oh, let me turn the camera because y'all can't even see me. Hold on. Got breakfast in bed. That was so nice. And we went to this like Korean spa, and it was like a sauna. I'd never been to one before, but it was super awesome, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And then I got pulled over. That was really cool. In preparation for the stream, I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna get all late and stuff like that. But thankfully it was just a small, simple thing. It was a light that was out. But I did get pulled over today. I was like, of all days, this is fascinating. Are the cats locked out? No, they're not locked out. They will be if they start making a lot of noise, but they've actually been real cool today. You guys may have seen one of my cats in a YouTube video. A reel I did on Instagram very recently. So yeah, he's the one who came in, but I don't know if he's gonna come back. So we'll see. So I gotta be honest, guys. This is my first time drawing today. I've been out and about. We didn't get home till like less than an hour ago. So we're gonna see how this all goes. But I like how the sketch is turning out. So we're just going to play with this. Um, but yeah. So how have you all been? What have you guys been up to? It's been so long. I feel like it's like a class reunion almost. I don't know if you guys have ever been to one, but I went to my 10-year high school reunion um, maybe a year and a half ago. Was it that long? Damn, what year was it? It was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago or something. And it was so cool seeing everybody again. And for some people, they just look slightly different. Some people look very different, but there were so like it felt like everyone who had beef with each other over the years that just kind of dissolved, and it became just, hey, we're all adults now, like we're all friends. So that's kind of how I feel now. It's like, it was a long time waiting, but there was also a lot of um there's also, I think, a lot of excitement for me coming back to these streams because it's just been so long. um so yeah. But I have a I feel like I have a duty to share one of the reasons that I stopped streaming. It's pretty personal, but it's a real story, and admittedly, I was embarrassed to even share it. And then I had to ask around, and I was informed that maybe it's a good idea to share. So I won't mention any specific names, but around the time I was last streaming, like towards the end of 2024, I was really stressed out at my job, and they were they're basically making things very miserable for me, and I felt like and a lot of it was because they basically said your work sucks. That's kind of how um, they didn't use those exact words, but that's basically what they were saying. Even though they reached out to me to hire me and all this stuff, like I interviewed with them, didn't get the job. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then a year later, they reached out and like, we really like you. We want to hire you. I'm like, okay, sure. But just pretty quickly, I noticed that it wasn't a good fit. And I started to recognize pretty quickly that I couldn't really trust them. I didn't like the way they talked about some of their coworkers. I didn't like the way that they did certain things. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna mind my business. I'm gonna be as friendly as I can, but I'm gonna kind of keep to myself. And towards the end of my the live stream time, towards that time, I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks later, I got called into a meeting, and they basically said, yeah, if you don't fix all these things, we're going to fire you, basically. And it was very cruel because they had been telling me up to that time that I was doing a really good job. They're like, Jordan, we love your work. It's great, great, great. I was like, okay, sure. Like, awesome. I love it. And then my art director suddenly was like, yeah, that's actually not the case. You're doing terribly and blah, blah. And just threw me for a whirlwind. And they basically said it was a mobile gaming company. Again, I won't say their name, but they told me that instead of doing my normal job, which we would do like an episode a month, they basically said, we're going to put you on 2 games, and you're going to do what you normally do in a month in 2 weeks, and you're going to learn this other game in 2 weeks. And I was like, what the heck? Like, how do you expect me to do that? If I'm not doing as well as you think I am, why would you then add more work? That doesn't even make sense. So I'm like, fine. I didn't complain. I was like, I'll do it. And I did do it. I did it twice for 2 months straight. And what's funny is the new game they put me on, every day they're like, yeah, we actually don't have work for you to do. We don't have work for you to do. And they basically had me going in this circle for 2 months. And I would ask questions to the leads. I was like, hey, am I doing better? Like, how's it going? And they would always deflect. They would never answer the question. I'd be like, yeah, well, I get that, but like, how's it actually going? They would never answer. And then one day I get a message in our in Slack, which is the app we were using to communicate. And my art director was like, "Hey, are you available for our meeting on Tuesday instead of Wednesday or whatever?" Because we usually did one-on-ones once a month on Wednesday. And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. I mean, whatever." And I didn't think anything of it until I got to that day, and I went to sign to the meeting in Google, and it was not my art director; it was another art director, and a name I didn't recognize. And I was like, "Oh shoot, okay, I know what's about to happen." And so they basically were like, "Jordan, we regret to inform you that you no longer work here." Blah blah blah. So they basically fired me. Um, and the reason that they gave was uh, that they didn't like my work. And I was like, you know what? I hate working here anyway. And to give you evidence of what I mean by that, I was so stressed out at the job. I was losing sleep. I was grinding my teeth at night. I was gaining weight. I wasn't able to eat properly. I wasn't like able to get outside. I got sick more often. Like I think before this job, I maybe got sick once a year with like a slight cold, like that would last maybe like 3 days tops. In one year I got sick like three times. It's just very unusual. It's never happened to me in my entire life. I have a very strong immune system. And um so all this was happening. And I never complained to them about it. I didn't say anything. I was just like, I'll still get it done. And on top of that, I also had a family member who was aging, and I would who has dementia. And for those of you guys who have ever dealt with someone like that, it can be very challenging because they forget where they are. They sometimes forget basic things like how to eat or use the bathroom. And there were times where I would get calls during my workday from my family member saying, "I'm lost somewhere in the city." And I'd be like, "What? What do you mean you're lost?" And they would say, "I don't know. I just see a Marshalls and a Home Depot." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And so I would have to leave work. I'm not even joking, leave work to go find my family member. And or get them food because they forgot to eat or because of something like that. And I informed them of this. I informed them, and they're like, "Isn't there someone else who could do it?" And I'm like, "No, the nearest family member is in another state." So it's literally just me. And for whatever reason, she didn't have this, like I think she had a nurse come maybe like once a week to help take care of her. But that's not enough for this situation. And so them knowing that and everything, they basically said, "Yeah, you're done." And ever since then, ever since that time period, I have had a hard time doing work. And I actually spent a lot of 2025 taking a long break because it's basically like an existential crisis. Like I couldn't draw. I was judging myself all the time. And I certainly couldn't get in front of a camera and try and draw and share with you guys. So I had to take a break. So it had nothing to do with me not wanting to work on it. It was just I literally could not function properly. On top of that, there's also the excitement of getting married and things like that. But this all happened just like 3 or 4 months before the wedding. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So had to start driving Uber. I had to start doing like a little random odd jobs. I sold all my stuff. That like I literally was surviving by selling my furniture on Facebook Marketplace. Like I'd be like, "Hey, come get this couch, come get this bed, come get this desk," because I'm moving and I need to help. I need to pay for this wedding and blah blah blah. So that all happened, and then moving across state lines and getting settled in my new home and all of that. It was a lot. It was a lot. So that's why you guys didn't hear from me for a long time. Again, had nothing to do with my lack of desire to continue working on this project. It was I was very emotionally drained, and I could not figure it out. And honestly, this is the first time I'm actually even speaking out about this. And you know, as my lovely wife said, that company can kick rocks. Yeah, they can kick rocks with open sandals, in my opinion. Tully says the company must be AI lovers to treat you that way. I'm glad you stopped working for them. They something. Yeah, they are terrible. And honestly, I actually have a friend who, the reason I even got that job because I have a friend who worked there, um, and she was telling me how stressed out she was. And I think, and she told me herself, you wouldn't like it if you had moved on to this new game. So it's almost like I dodged a bullet in a sense. So yeah, there was so much going on. I was like, I can't function. I really needed that break. So I want to thank you guys again for giving me that grace to move on from that. Uh, because not only was I trying to deal with all that in the state of my industry, which is really crappy right now. A lot of animation and game productions are being shut down uh, for various reasons. AI, but is part of it. But I think probably the biggest one is actually like oversaturation and a lack of income. Like a lot of these movies and shows are not making that much money. So if they're not making that much money, who's going to fund it? So dealing with that and moving and all this stuff, I was like, I just need that time. So yeah, that's basically what happened. There's more to it. I'm sure over the next couple of weeks and months, I'll probably think of new things to add, things I learned about that experience. One thing I will say is I learned that sometimes the money isn't enough. And what I mean by that is that just because a job pays you like really, really well, and that job paid me very well, it does not mean that it can satisfy your needs as a worker or your emotional needs. And sometimes it's just so draining that you'd be better off doing something else. Um, Manette says, I hope you're feeling better. That's a lot to have to go through. Thank you, Manette. I appreciate that. That's fine. Your family has to come first. Yeah, I agree. I had to take care of my family and my new family, right? But yeah, one of the things that I realized, like I remember uh, the second year, beginning of the second year of working for that company, I was called into a meeting because they were going to give me like their yearly raise, and they told me how much it was going to be. And I don't know if this is something that's just that company or if it's every company or what, but they're like, yeah, this is your raise and this is how it's going to be distributed and blah blah. And I was, as he was, this guy was talking, I was doing the math in my head, and I was like, this is like 50 extra dollars a week. And I was so like, I was mad at that. Like I didn't tell him because it's like, hey, I appreciate the raise, but realistically, what am I going to do? Get another DoorDash? I live in Los Angeles, for crying out loud. Like $50 is another DoorDash or another, half a tank of gas, realistically. And so I was like, man, this freaking sucks. And I was like, man, this like, why am I dealing with this? And so, when they actually had me in that initial meeting and they said, we're going to put you on these extra games and stuff, one of the things that I did, I basically was like, okay, I'm pretty sure they're going to fire me. I ended up getting someone else who I knew was looking for work. I had them slide into the LinkedIn profile with my art directors and said, hey, I'm looking for work. And now they're working there and it's having a good time. They're honestly a much better fit. But I was like, man, I feel like I did my due diligence. I got a friend of mine employed who is excellent. And one of the other things, I was debating after that meeting if I should just quit. But then I was like, if I quit, then I won't get that severance check. So I basically just did as much as I could to have them say no first so that I can get that severance check. And I was like, yeah, this was going to happen. Because when you quit yourself, they are not obligated to do that sort of thing. So yeah, that is basically how that all went down. So yeah, it was a lot, y'all. I know I keep sounding like I'm being a dead horse here, but it was intense. And I don't miss it. I found that life is so much more peaceful now that I don't have to worry about that anymore. Um, and I get to work on shadow boxers full time. That is one of the great things about. Oh, sorry, tab just opened. Um, that's one of the great things about my current situation. I decided I'm just going to do shadow boxers full time. So actually that reminds me. Um, I'm going to share something with you guys. I have not uh, put this out, or I have not made an announcement about it. But if you go to the Shadowbox's website, there's a big yellow tab that says support us. And if you would like to either join the Discord community, most of you guys who are currently watching are already in it, or you can subscribe to a newsletter, or you can give to our tip jar. So we have a little tip jar here. If you guys want to donate to the project and, or rather support the project, then you can with whatever tier you want. You can do one time, weekly, monthly, yearly, and you have all these options here. Or we have these tiers or these dojo tiers basically, and it's basically like Patreon but without Patreon because they take like 20% or something like that. And I was like, you know what? Why not just have my own system? So if you guys are interested, you can check out the rookie, apprentice, warrior, grandmaster, or champion dojo tiers, and you see all the different perks here. You can check that out on your own time. There's a link in the description for that. But no pressure or anything. But if you want to support the project, then this is the best way to do it. I did not have a real system in place before, but since I'm trying to turn this into my full-time work and being independent, I figured, you know what, I gotta have some way to make this work. And honestly, I think that that's probably the way things are going to go for most artists, especially people who work in my fields, whether it's animation, illustration, concept art, games. All these studios and companies are having a really hard time. And I know so many people out of work. I actually don't know if I have any artist friends who are currently working an artist job that they are not being destroyed by. Um, and so it's you have a broken system, and it's not even like for lack of trying that things are difficult. People are trying to get projects picked up and put out there, but for some reason things just aren't lining up the way that they're supposed to for a lot of people. And again, I'm not the only one. This isn't just a Jordan isolated experience. And so one of the things that I lost my train of thought. One of the things that I notice is a lot of artists are trying to pivot, meaning they're doing other part-time jobs, usually which have nothing to do with artist careers. But what's even more frightening, like that's not a bad thing. If you get a part-time job to pay the bills, then it's what you got to do. But I've seen a lot of people going like, I am straight up quitting art. Like the industry has been so bad to me. Even when I got work, it was terrible and blah, blah. So to answer the question of Todd, so does this mean that you would start your own studio? That's basically what it is. So I own Shadowboxer Studios. And it is pretty much, it is me, it is my wife, and Megan, who's on the stream somewhere working on it, this comic, and we're trying to build this out into something. Because initially, when I was starting these streams, part of it was to get this together for animation. That was the big goal. And for animation, it takes a lot of money to make that. Oh, Megan's still here. Okay, cool. And also, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. Animation takes a lot of resources and a lot of time. And I think if you're doing indie, it's really challenging to do a full series unless you have a big team and a big audience who can help fund it. The reason it's even a comic or I'm turning shadow boxes into a or graphic novel or comic is because it's just easier to tell the story that way, with this long format and still keep my sanity. um, but man, I keep losing my train of thought. I have to. I'm a little rusty, guys. I'm usually so used to talking and drawing on these live streams, but it's been so long. I'm like, what in the world? And I'm like redrawing uh, stuff I've already done. It's like, oh my goodness, I don't even remember how to do this anymore. Um, but what was I saying? Um, uh, oh, yeah. So when it comes to animation, I've actually pitched this project to multiple studios. I've pitched to Hulu, um, and another company. I won't say their name just because they're a little bit smaller, and I also don't know like how they feel about me bringing that up. But I pitched it to a couple people, and everyone's like, "We love this project. It looks so cool." But it's not the right time because we have another project that's similar. Usually, what that means, from what I understand, is that it just has a project that stars Black people, and they don't want want to take it because it's going to look too similar to them. Doesn't necessarily mean it is too similar. It's just that's just what they said. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'm honestly thankful that I even got in the door, but what that has told me is like, you know what? People see the vision of what I'm trying to do. They just are afraid, right now, for fairly good reasons. It's very hard for a big company that can fund animated shows to take a chance on something that is newer. If you are, if you are in a position of these studios, you want a guarantee that your money's going to come back and make a positive ROI. And unfortunately, that has not happened so much for even the biggest projects. Like, look at Star Wars. Look at all these remakes they're doing, or these spin-off shows. The reason they're doing that is because they need a cheap way to make more content that's going to guarantee them, lots of revenue. But things are shifting so much that it can't really do that so much anymore, and so it becomes a challenge. And so yeah, it's basically like, well, what are you supposed to do in that time? So that is why I've made the decisions that I've made regarding Shadowboxer Studios, regarding the shop, regarding everything. The whole purpose of this is just to put this out there and to like really make something out of this. So again, it doesn't mean that you know things are going to be super different, in my opinion. It actually, if anything, is probably better this way because it means that I won't have to dilute my project, because that's one of the common things that happens to creatives when they sell their story to a network. Like, if I were to sell this off to somebody, then they would own it. Like, if let's just use Sony as an example. If I sold Shadowboxer to Sony to make to give them the rights to make the show, they could make whatever changes they wanted to just to suit their purposes, and I couldn't really do much about it. Now, of course, they want the involvement of the creator because it's their vision. They're the only one who fully understands that world. Like, like Stranger Things, for example. It would be hard to tell that project without the creators there. Like, that's a very unique story. Especially the first season. Now, when you get to later seasons after things have been set up, it's easier to kind of make that adjustment, and replace someone, like they did that with Aaron Magruder on the Boondocks. In season 4, they just totally replaced the creator. It was not as good. The same energy, the energy was not there, but they could technically do it. So that's one of the struggles that artists have had for a long time, is having to bow down to these networks and people with money just because they have that money. And it's a very difficult battle to resolve. So yeah, but with me doing it totally independently and just not even worrying about it being on some sort of network or anything like that, it has more of a chance to resonate, to reach the right audience of people to say what I really wanted to say without me having to worry about any sort of, executive meddling or whatever. And yeah, so and it's taken me a long time to kind of come to this conclusion because I was for a while also kind of set on making it specifically an animated series. But I was like, okay, if I'm going to have an animated series, I need millions of dollars and a lot of fans. And at this point, I just don't have that. I'm not saying it's always going to be that way because the goal, of course, is to always shoot for an animated series. But I might just have to be more patient. And I think that's okay because it's going to strengthen my storytelling abilities in the meantime. I'll build more of a vision. And honestly, it's kind of the way that anime is made. Like most anime is based off of the manga that comes from the creator. It's basically a comic or a graphic novel, So it really does change the way things are made when they see, oh, hey, this actually works. This is a great system. So yeah, that's kind of the way that I see it. And of course, this is me being ultra optimistic, because life could change. Maybe this isn't the path forward for shadow boxers. Maybe someone else is going to come along and be like, "Hey, I have a better idea for you," and that could change. But as of right now, that's kind of where I stand on this. So yeah, just doing it independently, not caring so much about the perception that others may have of it. Although to be fair, most people seem to really like shadow boxers when I present it to them. At least the people who stop by seem to find something in it, even without like reading a ton of it or seeing a comic for it fully made. There's some form of investment there, and I appreciate that immensely. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Tried to fix the name, but apparently it didn't work. Oh, it's all right. We still know you still have the same profile picture, so it's all good. I'm like electric avocado, toasty shrimp. All right, it is what it is. But yeah, so yeah, that's the long and short of where I've been the last couple of years, where I'm at now, what I want to do. And again, this is not something that I want to put down anytime soon. In fact, part of the reason I'm thankful I don't have that awful job anymore is because I don't feel the same pressure that I once did. Because when you work a creative job, like as a 9 to 5, there is a difficulty in trying to make your own stuff because you just don't have the same energy for it anymore. Like on one level, you want to create something really cool for your job, but then when you get home, you are tired. You're like, I'm so sick of this. I just want to watch TV. I just want to relax. I want to chill. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it can become very, very difficult after a while. And it became difficult for me. Like I said, could not really put forth my best energy because I was using it all up on this job that I hated. And then I started to associate drawing with pain. Like I was starting to go like, man, I just don't want to do this anymore. And that's scary when you're an artist and you're like, yeah, I think I'm just going to stop doing art altogether, or I'm going to do something, something like that. It gets really, really bad. So yeah. 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 All these companies can have their money. I would love to have my stories animated, but I don't want my stories to my characters to be changed and lose that control. Yeah, that's the difficulty. And that's what a lot of people don't know if they can sacrifice. It's like, do you sacrifice your integrity in the story for the money, or vice versa? There are circumstances where it just lines up perfectly, where the person who has the money believes in the project and it works out beautifully. One show that does that is actually The Chosen. It is one of my favorite shows. And it's a show based on the life of Christ, and the creator of it did it completely indie. For the most, they crowdfunded that show, and it became the largest crowd-funded show like of all time. And it's still like that. And it's run for 6 seasons. It was initially planned to be 7 seasons. They have finished their 6th season. They're still like doing post production, and they're about to film their 7th season soon. And it was all completely indie. Now, granted, their audience is very large because they are targeting Christians, which is like the biggest population on the planet. But even not even everyone in that group likes the show. So like the fact that it can be done, and the fact that there are people who are slowly showing that it's possible. You see like Glitch Productions is able to do stuff like that. The people at Spindle Horse with the Hasbin Hotel, even though I'm not a huge fan of the content, like it happens. So it's very, very possible to have something like that and not sacrifice the integrity. Adam says, "Happy birthday." Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I don't know who is here who was also there when I made this announcement at the beginning, but I want to let you guys know that if you go to the Shadowboxer store, we have a 15% off code. Just put the word B-Day Bash in your promo code area, and you get 50% off everything in the store. It's only going to run for tonight all the way up till tomorrow night at midnight. So if you want, whether it's a hat or an art book, which I will sign, by the way, I sign all the art books that people purchase, or if you want a hoodie or a hat or a water bottle, whatever the case is, then you have the opportunity to do that now. This is also the largest coupon code that I've ever made. Like usually it's like 10% off. This one's 15% because it's my birthday. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give you guys a gift if you want it. You don't have to take it, but if you want to support, if you want some cool Shadowboxers merch, you are more than welcome to. Like for example, we got this cool hat. This hat is actually the old version. The logo was updated from this, but it's basically like the same color and look. So you guys even see me wearing it in the stream sometimes in the past if you go back. But people, what's cool about that is people really are interested in the logo. Like I also have a beanie somewhere. Oh, that's not the right letter. I have a beanie in the other room that has the SB logo on it, and we were in Arkansas. And someone was like, "Yo, what is that? I think I recognize this." So you never know. You never know. You could start a conversation, make a friend that way. So yeah. Oh, and we also, my wife just tossed me this. We also have the beanie in white too. So yeah, this is how it looks. It's very warm, very comfortable, very soft. And yeah, it's got the SB logo on it, at least part of it. We couldn't fit the Path of Light here and have it be legible. So it's just Shadowboxers. So yeah. Oh, and Jordan, you said my name right. It's Tali. No, it's not Talia. Oh, okay. Sorry. I think I just saw an A in my head. My bad. I would like to reach a Haitian teen audience with my projects and stories and to get anime, but I want my vision to be me. Yeah, I think that's great. And I think for everybody, it is worth it to have your vision there, because the visionaries are the ones who should be leading and spearheading these projects, I don't think it should be someone who doesn't know what they're doing. Like that's actually one of the things that I really respect about Walt Disney. And people have their own opinions about him, and especially Disney as the company now. But I'm talking about the original guy. Walt Disney was so dedicated to his projects that he put up a second mortgage towards house. I think he sold his car to get Snow White made. And I was listening to the story. It's a book in Audible. What is it called? I think it's called The Disney Revolt. It's basically about Walt Disney and Art Babbitt and the animation strike of 1941, I want to say. And that's when a lot of people basically were fed up with Walt Disney, and they were, going on strike, and a lot of people left because of that. But one of the interesting things about Snow White when he was making it, he bet everything on it. And he also had his brother Roy do all the finances. Walt was the creative guy. So he was the story guy, going in different departments, checking on things. And his brother, what was his name? Was it Rob? or Bob, I can't remember his name. Roy, that's what it is, Roy Disney. And his brother was handling all the finances, and he was like, "Look, you are running out. We're running out of money, Walt." And he's like, "I don't care. You're the money guy. I'm the creative guy. You get the money." And apparently, there was a story about how they needed an extra couple $1 million from a bank, and so they had the banker drive to the studio in Burbank, and he premiered the movie for him to show him the vision of what it could be. And keep in mind, at the time, there had only been short animated segments, like 6 minutes, 5 minutes. No one had ever seen an hour plus animated film in color with synchronized sound and all this stuff. And he watched the whole movie, and he walked to his car, and then he finally said, "This movie's going to make a lot of money." And then he gave him the loan, and it became the highest grossing film of that time when it came out. I think it was maybe beaten out a few years later by like Gone with the Wind or something like that, but it was massive. So I say all that to say that it has to be something that comes from the creator, in my opinion. And we have been put into a system where it's hard as a creative to make, all these decisions and have all these choices when it comes to finances, because typically most artists do not like businessy things. I have learned that myself. Like, having a business, having an LLC is scary. There's all this paperwork. There's all these like forms that you have to understand what they mean. Like, you have to know what a schedule this is and a form 10 blah 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 is, and you have to have these taxes here and that, and it's frightening. But at the same time, like, that's how people gain their independence, and the biggest and most successful artists all have that. What I've learned from just doing my research, and by the way, this is like a conversation, so you guys, if you have different opinions, you can feel free to share. But usually I think artists have a hard time making money because typically they have to work for their money, meaning it's hard to make money while you sleep as an artist. Like, for example, if you're an author and and you make a book, and that book sells 10 million copies, and you become number one bestseller on New York Times number one bestseller or whatever, you only have to write that book one time, and you're still making money. J.K. Rowling is still making money from Harry Potter to this day. Every time I go to Barnes and Noble, there's always a Harry Potter section, not just the books, but you have the wands, you have Quidditch, Quidditch stuff, puzzles, all these things from this woman writing 7 books, and the last one was written in 2007. So we're talking about 19 years ago was when it was published, but she's still making money. Artists, on the other hand, have a hard time doing that unless they can have something that can keep making them money, right? Because typically it's like you either work for a studio and you get paid for the work that you do that day or that week, and you get the paycheck. And, there's this unspoken rule that you're supposed to return the week after. But technically, when you do the job, like, and they pay you, that's all that's really necessary. Like, I once worked an art job for 5 days. I thought I was going to go on for much longer. And it was a studio job. Like, it was an animation studio. And he was like, "Yeah, this is only 5 days worth of work." I didn't know that at the time, but it was over with. And so that's why you see a lot of these artists selling brushes and selling courses and books and stuff, because they're trying to figure out, how do I make money while I sleep? And that, they're basically trying to create assets, which I think is really, really smart. And so I didn't have to put a number on it. What number did I put? I already forgot what I said. Yeah, sometimes I just ramble. Sorry, I didn't mean to put a number on it, but I don't know which number you're referring to anymore. But yeah, so it's either like they have to sell brushes, or they have to do some sort of course or a class, or sometimes they teach or whatever. But the other way that people or artists do it is by owning their own studio, getting freelance projects, giving it to their team, or if you have your own IP, your own projects. How many years it's been since Harry Potter ended? Oh, I'm sorry. Look, it's my birthday. I'm the one who should feel old here. um, yeah. Um, but yeah, it's been a minute. So yeah, that's what I have noticed. And I'm sure other people may have realized that. I guess for me lately, being in my situation, seeing how the industry's going, I've just been thinking about it more because it makes me sad to see a lot of artists going like, "Yeah, I just quit. I'm done." And I've seen that many times. I've seen people go like, "Yeah, um, as much as I want to be an artist, and as much as I trained to be an artist, and I still owe money to art school and everything, I am done." And it's hard for me to conceive of that. Like even in my tough moments of going like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to, how I feel about art right now. I couldn't imagine quitting, like that's just depressing. And so I'm like, I need a solution. So that's part of where the idea of, making Shadowboxer Studios kind of came from, um, and why I want to go forth with this. Um, I was actually watching a video recently. It's from a YouTube channel, and it's simply just called Matt. That's the name of the YouTube channel, and it's got like 4 T's. And he has some really great videos about comics. Megan might even know what it is. Let me see. I'll see if I can find it for you guys, just to show you. It's fun typing in the name because it's like it's got all these T's in it. But this channel right here, when it loads up, you'll see. Come on, buddy. Yeah, this channel talks about all this comic history, and I was watching one in particular. Is this one right here? What no one wants to admit about comic book sales, and is an essay about Bone, the comic book series Bone. Now, I've never read it personally, but I have known people who have read it, and I've seen that it's really popular. And the story was so fascinating because the guy who created Jeff Smith, he worked in animation for a long time and things were going dry. And he basically just said, yeah, I'm going to create my own comic. And he and his wife built this empire slowly over time. And it took, he started getting a lot of love from people in the industry going like, yeah, this comic book is great. And, they were doing their thing. And it took like 15 years to finish the series, I think. But it was so awesome, like seeing their story. And then they ended up selling their stuff to Scholastic, but at that point it was already like finished. And one part of the video, they talk about how he met with like some sort of executive at Scholastic and was like, yeah, we need to change all this stuff. And I guess like one post-it note had like drinking on it or something, because like I haven't read it, but I assume there's some stuff that's technically not age appropriate depending on how old they are. And he's like, yeah, I can't change it. And they're like, okay, never mind. We thought we had these changes, but never mind. We're good. Where do we sign the papers? And they let him have that. And also he made it to a place where the guy said, yeah, we're not just going to put this in like the comic section or the kids section. We're putting this next to Harry Potter. Like they treat it as like high class literature. And so, yeah, it was really cool to see that story. I don't know of any Matts off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't either. Fun fact, he lives in Columbus where I live, for those who don't know. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know he lived in Columbus. Maybe you'll see him at Starbucks one day. There's a very good comic expo here because of him. Are you serious? That's awesome. It takes work for sure. Oh, so by the way, for those who don't know, Khalid is a comics man. Like if you go on his profile, and Khalid, if you are okay with it, you should probably put your Instagram in the chat so people can check out your work. But he's been doing comics for a long time, ever since I've met him, and that was in 2000. Well, you know what? I was just told not to say years anymore, but we met a long time ago. But 2000 something. That gives you 26 years to choose from. He says it takes work for sure. Putting out your comic pages online every week on your website or on Webtoon can help build an audience over time. That is also true. All very good stuff. And then the second one seems very kid friendly, but it's 9 or so books and it gets pretty dark. Yeah, so I don't know. I was, when I was in the bookstore today, I actually saw like the full collection of Bone, and it was like 1,000 pages or something, or 1,200 pages. And I was like, geez. But I was like, you know what? Not right this second, but one day I will get the collection and I will have it on my shelf and I'll give you guys my review of it. I'm pretty sure it's awesome. I remember being a kid and people were reading it. Um, but yeah, I have not read it myself. I just realized it's been an hour. I've been on the same panel for this whole time. I hope you guys don't mind it. Like I said, I'm getting used to drawing and talking again because it's a strange combination. You know, having to think in two streams at the same time. Like one stream is thinking about the drawing and composition and stuff, and line work, and the other one is thinking about carrying on the conversation and not getting lost in thought. And usually, one takes precedent over the other for me. So, yeah, actually, let's do it like that. And who knows? I might even go back later, and I'll probably go back in later and clean up these panels a little bit more. But for now, I think it's looking pretty good. Like I'll probably add a couple of what do they call it? Spot blacks or just some thicker lines here or there. I don't want to be as precious anymore. I want the shapes to be fun and unique, but I think I often can be too precious with my drawings, especially when it comes to line work. So yeah. All right, he's looking pretty good there. Let's move up to not this frame, this one. Switch it up a little bit. Gonna work on a seam. Javen's dad. Yes, that's the one volume version. Ah, okay, got it. Yeah, that thing was huge. It was like this thick. But I was thinking, like, man, wouldn't that be so cool? To just hold your giant volume of comics in your hand like that. Like that's pretty epic. Thanks, Jordan. I'm a huge fan of Bone. I read it in the early days and have to have a complete collection worth a read. Yeah, I definitely need to read. I've heard people compare it to Calvin and Hobbes, which is my favorite personally, but I also haven't read too many other comics. Like I've read Calvin and Hobbes. I've read Brothers Bond, which is a smaller indie comic by one of my favorite artists. What else have I read? Random stuff that's not like big name. Obviously, some Spider-Man comics, and got another hydration check. That's two, I think, for the day. But I might have to start saying a couple more because I am kind of thirsty. Oh snap! Blocky Raps is on, bro. We are so back. What's up, man? Thank you for coming on the stream. Appreciate you. And the one and only Mark. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy birthday, Jordan. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming on. Mark, I know it's gotta be like 5 o'clock in the morning for you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for popping in. It's great to see your name pop up on the stream. Yeah, this is so cool. It's like a family reunion. This is so awesome. Megan's keeping track of the hydration check. Yeah, we have to because I will lose track. Oh yeah, I'm redesigning some of the shapes of the characters. Like we got Ghazali looking cool. We got Salam. We got Javen. We got Ishnu and everything. So yeah, I'm working on this stuff, guys. They'll get closed later. Don't judge me for that. Have to start somewhere. Got to figure out the shapes first. Kathy says, "Mark the goat." Yes, the goat. Sounds like I should send you a list of books to get from the library. Honestly, I think our local library probably wouldn't have whatever you recommend me. It's a very, what's the word? It is a very quaint, nice library, but it is not one that has many things. Actually, they asked me when I went there, they're like, Jordan, can you think of some stuff we can get? So maybe I'll just have to work through Megan to get that. I'm gonna change the song because it's been a minute. Let's see. I forgot which ones are which now. Let me see. Yeah, we'll do this. Actually, sorry, man. My bad. You know, you can always watch the replays too, but I can only do so much, bro. I moved to a later time zone actually, so if I did it any later, it would have been super late for me too. So yeah, I couldn't hear any music before that. Oh, seriously? I asked y'all at the beginning if y'all could hear the music. So sorry. I guess it's. Let me turn it up a little bit. Turn it up. I don't. So there's a dial when it comes to the music, and I have no idea what the dial was set to before, and it was never shown on screen on any of my streams because it's in like the program I'm streaming in. And so I just forgot. So yeah. Um, let's see. Tali says, as a recent graduate, not with art, but with psychology, one of my professors said you should start a business and reaching out immigrant families with disabled children with your art. I want it to be fun. That is really cool. I would never have thought to do that. But that is a great goal to have. Last time we talked, you said you were in your storyboarding bag. How has that been going, and what have you learned? Oh, that's a great question. So I took a warrior art camp class on action storyboarding. It's taught by Sun Shen. He was a board artist on a bunch of really cool shows like Star Trek and Young Justice and stuff. I don't know if there's a hydration check for Young Justice. I don't remember. Probably not. I don't think I bring it up that much. But yeah, it was really, really good. And it was challenging for me because I had never actually taken like a real solid storyboarding class from someone who's doing action boards. I'd taken some classes back in school where it was like an indie filmmaker or something like that, which is not necessarily bad, but it was really basic stuff. And so I had a hard time. I was definitely like probably the most green of everybody in my class. And it's funny because, on the first day, I remember people were like, so what have you worked on? And people were like, yeah, I had been boarding for like 8 years and I've been on this and this and this. And so it was just insane for me to go like, yeah, I just jumped in here because I saw the class and I don't really have any boarding experience. And it was like a bit of not a red flag, but it was a concern because it was a more intermediate to advanced level class. But suffice to say, I thought it was really good. I think one of the biggest takeaways is just using the Z-axis for action. Like it's something that I kind of knew, but I didn't quite register until he started explaining this stuff. And the Z-axis basically just means things going forward in space or back. So like foreshortening. Like that's a huge thing with boards. And then also knowing how to tell a story within a fight. That is also super important. So most people will think if they're just starting a fight scene that all you have to do is just show some characters using powers or punching or whatever. And it's all cool, but there are no stakes. And so he actually showed us this film. I don't remember what the film was called. I actually don't know if he said the name, but it was a film with Keanu Reeves, and he was fighting this guy in front of this like temple, this Asian style temple, and the fight went on for like 8 minutes, but like nothing happened in it. Whereas when you watch something like The Matrix, in the original Matrix, there's a fight scene between Neo and Agent Smith, and they're by the train tracks, and it's so much more engaging, even though it's half the time because of the way that they shot it. So like you see like a hero's journey or a story arc within that. Like you see the confrontation, and then you see Neo, he's starting to get it, but then he fails at something and he's losing, and then he goes back and starts winning, and then he starts losing again, and then he looks like he's gonna die and get hit by the train, and then suddenly he finds a way to just win and and escape. So like being able to find ways to tell stories like that, and even those small segments is really, really important. So actually we only had like 2 assignments really, but they were 2 assignments that lasted for a couple of weeks. So one was a montage, and it was like in the style of like Rocky. So like those fight montages where it's like dun 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 dun, and you see him like training, and he's lifting weights, and he's running through the street, and he's losing, he's falling over, and he's doing this and that, and there's a whole story within that. Like if you watch it, you just know that you just start to see like, okay, there's a whole mini movie just within this. And the best training montage, you'll see it like you see it in the Rocky movies. Creed, I think in Creed 2, Michael B. Jordan, he's like in the desert and he's training. There's a whole story arc there. Cobra Kai has a ton of them, especially like just any martial arts or fighting movies. But Cobra Kai has a great one at the very last episode where Johnny's training for his fight. They have like this epic music, and he's doing his training. Even in like one of the first episodes, Miguel Diaz in Cobra Kai, he's training. He like gets up and he starts off doing push-ups, and then you see him running up like these mountains and doing push-ups up there. He's like training, and then he's, and Johnny Lawrence, he had these crazy workout regimens where he would like use a what do they call those? Like a baseball shooter. I don't know what those are officially called, but he used that to like train people to dodge and hit and stuff. And you see Miguel getting pummeled by all the baseballs, and then suddenly, like a few minutes later, you start seeing him block. He's like boom, boom, boom. So those two things in particular, the Z-axis and having that story within a story, are two of the like biggest fundamental areas. Like if I have those two subjects, like 1 and 2, those 2 points I made, everything else just kind of stems from that. It's just kind of going like this, all over the place. So yeah, those are what I could share that I learned. Obviously, if you have the ability and the resources, I totally recommend taking the class. Because it's really, really good. And if you can't, take it from, take a class in it from Warrior Art Camp, obviously there's tons of videos on YouTube on it. And yeah, you can do a whole lot with it. But yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. Mark is asking, how is Texas? Texas is cool, man. One of the things that I was constantly, my wife and I, we got into, like, we started to tease each other about gas prices, because she would be driving down the road, we'd be on the phone or something, and she'd be like, oh my gosh, gas is so expensive. And I'd be like, well, how much is it? She's like, $2.85. I'm over here looking out the window seeing $6.85 for gas, or $7, or something crazy like that. On average, it's probably like $4 to $5, but that gas goes so quickly in LA because you're always in traffic. And I'm like, that's not a high gas price, at least not for me. But now living here, I understand it. I understand it more. Mark says, oh, my wife and I. Yeah, well, I gotta say it, man. I gotta represent, because I don't know if everybody, people who watch the stream in the future might not know that Kathy's my wife. But anyway, yeah, we have those kinds of discussions, and it's funny, but I like it out here. I like how quiet it is. There's no hustle and bustle. Like the days pass by slower here. When you're in LA and you're just, even if you don't go outside, you still feel there's a rush. If anyone's ever been to New York, you would understand what I mean. There's a very big like rush in New York constantly. And I don't feel it here, like my backyard is the woods, like one time, so you guys can't tell, but if I look right here, there is a big window, and it's the backyard area. It's actually not even really a yard, like it's not fenced off, but I saw a coyote come out one day and I was like, yo, what the heck? Like, you don't see that where I'm from. That's just crazy. You see that in the mountains on a hike for a leisurely walk, you know what I mean? So it's totally different. And it's bizarre going to drive an hour to go like Trader Joe's or something like that. They have my favorite cereal. That's why I always go there. Like, it used to be 10 minutes away, but now it's like, an hour. But I do like Texas. I like my church. Church is great. Everyone is super kind and friendly. The weather is brutal all the time. The nice months are very, very short. It's like October and early November, and then like March. And there's probably some wiggle room in that, but it is brutal. Like the summertime, oh my gosh, I did not desire to go outside past 9 a.m. It was that bad. And people would be like, this is a cool summer. And I'd be like, shut up. Like, that's not fair. You cannot say that to me. That's not right. Or people were like, oh, this winter is not that bad. And I'm over here in my heated vest and my, scarf and my hat and oh, actually, I don't really have gloves anymore. Long story short, the cats peed on it, but they 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 mock me for that. And I'm like, look, I'm from California. It's just different. But outside of those like few things, I do like Texas. It's pretty awesome. Toasted Shrimp says Justice League is, what is that symbol? Oh, it's not a hydration. Okay, got it. Thank you. Technically it's Young Justice though, but okay. Tully says, however, to turn art into a business would take the fun out of it. So I'm taking this time being out of school to work with my art and stories about disability in my personal superhero comic universe. That's totally okay. I don't think it's for everyone to do that because it can suck the fun out of everything. I just know for myself, one of the reasons that I want to do this is because I think it's worth trying. I think that one of the things that I know about myself is I can become very fearful about things that are unknown. And when it comes to business stuff, there's a lot of unknowns there. But I have been I've been watching people. I've talked to people who own businesses. Obviously talked to Claire from Art Prof. Shout out to her, who's my boss and is super awesome. And there's a lot to it, but there can be a lot of benefits from it as well. And it's like, you know what, I might as well try. Like, if I really believe Shadowboxers can become something massive, then this is probably the best way to do it. And I also would rather not do it retroactively and be like, yeah, I'm just here's my comic, but now I don't know how to actually put it out there and who the audience is and all this stuff. So it's forcing me to think differently. And the other thing too is like, I forgot to share this part of my story too. One of the reasons why I also had a really difficult time at the time I finished, stopped doing the streams, was because I had 4 streams of income at the time. And I've always had multiple things going on. And in a span of 3 weeks, 3 of them went away. And it was just left down to 1, and it freaked me out. First, I told you guys the company that fired me, and they can kick rocks. Another one, I was doing freelance for a friend of mine for years, for about 4 or 5 years. And he actually had cancer, and I didn't know about it until about a week before he died. He called me. We hadn't spoken for months, and he called me and said, hey man, this is why I haven't been talking with you very much, because I'm very sick. And he showed me, he had his son recording on FaceTime, and he showed me his bed and how thin he was. And I've seen cancer before because my father had cancer. And I was like, oh, this does not look good. And a week later he passed. So not only did I lose a friend, a genuine friend, but I also lost that stream of income. And it's not like it's not about the money per se, but it did affect the situation. So obviously losing a friend is way, way worse. But then the other thing is, the school I was teaching at, they said, hey, there's low enrollment this semester, so we won't be able to run your classes. All that happened within a 3-week time span. So that was another reason why things were really challenging. And I was like, you know what? I don't like the fact that I am dependent on everyone else for my skills. Everything I do is I clearly have the ability to make something of value to somebody somewhere. So why not do it for something that I care about? Why not put my passion in it? So that's one of the reasons I decided to turn this into its own indie production. And then Toasted Shrimp says, hide your dogs, hide your cats, referring to the coyotes. Yeah, you have to hide them, especially my other little cats. I don't think they're going to come in because they're the door's kind of closed and they're probably taking a nap on the couch. But but yeah, the little one, she she likes to sit out in front of that window and she likes to try and fight things on the other side of the glass, without knowing what it is. So whether it's lizards, whether it's moths or wasps or something like that, she will try and fight it. And I'm certain that she would be real curious if you saw that coyote. I think she happened to be asleep at the time the coyote showed up, because her cat tree's by that window. But yeah, that would have been real interesting to see. Cleet said, "That's heavy. I'm so sorry." I appreciate that. It's a lot, like dealing with all that at the same time. So that's another reason why I was like, I need time to unwind. And I share this not because I just want to make y'all miserable, because it's still my birthday and it's a happy occasion. We're back on the live streams and everything, but I just want to be real with you guys. You guys are the biggest supporters of this project that hasn't really seen much of the light of day. And so I feel that I owe it to you guys, especially since you all have not rubbed it in my face how long it's been. And you guys are still rocking with me. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. And by the way, some of you may have seen the newsletter that I sent out, but the streaming schedule is changing. So we will be, I'm going to commit to doing live streams twice a week now on YouTube, and Twitch, and hopefully TikTok. I'm going to see if I can figure that out. I know there's a way to do it. I just have to figure it out. But I'm going to stream on Sunday evenings and Thursday evenings from now on. So unless there is a certain event that means I can't make it, like sometimes I have like church board meetings or something on Thursday nights, so I might be like, yeah, no stream tonight, guys. But those are the 2 days that I'm going to commit to being here for at least an hour, hopefully 2, working on shadow boxes with you guys, building this project out. You guys can see the process and we build this community. That's my goal. So yeah, unless an unforeseen circumstance happens, every Thursday and every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time, we will be right here working on Shadowboxers. I don't know if it's always going to be the comic every time. It could be a poster. It could be like the animation. Like I might decide that I want to do, some stuff like this, like doing turnarounds. Sorry, let me make that a little bit bigger. Yeah, Zalam's going to get the treatment next because I'm updating him slightly too. But yeah, that's the goal. Mark says, "You want me to wake up twice a week? Twice? Yes, sir." Yes, sir. What about it? No, you can get your sleep, man. But yeah, it's pretty exciting, and it's also going to help me be accountable. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. If I'm exhausted, then I'll cut it back to 1. This is going to be a fluid verbal document, if you will. So, but that is what we're working with right now. So yeah, this Thursday, which is what day is Thursday? Is it the 22nd? Whatever the Thursday is, we'll be back here again. Amara says, "Yeah, I'll be here 2 times a week." Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, thank you, Amaris. I appreciate that. Tali says, "Your honesty is appreciated, Jordan. Don't feel bad." Sorry about your friend Jordan. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you guys, because I was kind of nervous to share some of these things with everyone, because it's pretty personal. It's like we're talking about job loss and death and business, that like very vulnerable things. Oh shoot, that's not what I want to do. Did y'all see that? I just circled one thing. What is going on? Oh shoot, I know what's going on. I have a symmetry tool turned on and it's crossing over. Okay, let me figure out where that is. I think it's in this frame. By the way, this cylinder took me way too long to figure out perspective wise. Oh my gosh, it drove me crazy. I won't even tell you how long I spent on it. I clearly need to get my 3D game up. But I was so determined. I was like, I'm gonna figure this out just for the knowledge. I need the knowledge. But I worked it out. It's all good. Mark says, "Thursday is a Friday for me. Waking up early on Fridays against my morals. It's all right, man. It's all good." It's all good. If you can't, and here's the thing: if you guys don't make it or can't make it, I am not going to ban you from the live streams or or make you feel bad. It's like, hey, if you come, you come. Like my mom, I talked to my mom today. She's like, Jordan, I'll be real with you. I'm watching the game. I don't think I'm gonna make it. And I'm like, okay, mom, that's fine. It's all good. I love you. Amara says, I'm excited. Did you just change your profile picture? Do you have a second account? I'm trying to figure out how you did that. That's a cute picture though. But yeah. And also guys, if you have other friends or people in your life who you think would have fun on the live stream, any artists that you know of, or any kids or something like that, 'cause I would like to think these streams are pretty family friendly. We don't, I don't curse, so I don't think I say anything too crazy. Every once in a while I might refer to like Breaking Bad or something, which no child should watch, but but outside of that, have them come on, invite them. We're trying to build the community. And again, oh my goodness, sorry, I saw a comment. It just made me think of something else. If you go into the description, you will see a link to the Discord community, which is completely free. You can join. You can post your art. I'll be posting stuff whenever I have a cool update to share. And we also have a couple other links I'll share with you guys in a second. If you look at the top corner, you can toggle snapping to various rulers. I hotkeyed them. Okay, I will remember that for next time. No, just change it. My fiance sent me the picture from our photo shoot. Oh, that is so cute. Y'all getting married. There's so many married folks coming through now. This is great. This is awesome. I love it. Congratulations. Not to go against your advertising, but I vividly recall a conversation about nut huggers. Oh, dang, I don't remember. I don't remember that. What did I say? I don't remember. Oh my gosh, Megan has the deep cuts. Oh boy. Mark, you did that on purpose, didn't you? That's not a typo. Oh, that's a good point. That's probably not a typo. I'm gonna call because he did capitalize the M. So let's call that hydration check, referring to Miles Morales. We got some congratulations for getting married. I'm trying to remember the nut huggers conversation. I don't remember. You guys should know by now that half the stuff I say during the streams, I kind of forget like a few seconds later because I'm just kind of going in the stream of conscious, just like a regular conversation. But oh, by the way, guys, I gotta show you all my art wall. It looks almost the exact same, except we have a Pro Mayor poster, but we got 4 Spideys. We got this one up here. Wait, let me change the camera. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, we got that one on the top left. That's from my friend Marielle. And then we got these 2. This one's from John Lamb. He did a cool Hobie. And we got some other cool stuff. I got that small postcard from Lightbox, I think, a couple years ago. And this is my wife's desk. This is Kathy's desk. And I like to point to this sign, the creativity never sleeps. I like to point to that one occasionally because I go to bed real late and she'd be like, Jordan. And I'm like, hey, look at the sign. So yeah, I get in trouble for it though. Let me see. Not a typo. Hi, Manette. That's right. It wasn't a typo. Megan says, oh, I already drank to that. It was about tight pants. Oh, okay. We need to find that and clip it. It's very out of date now. Kathy's just like ... It's true. I go to bed late. She's so much better than me when it comes to that. We're doing an anime wedding or video game themed wedding. We're nerds over here. That's what I'm talking about. We didn't do anything like that for ours, but I think it would have been the next best thing. We just had a lot of people who were coming who weren't nerds, so I was like, let's make them comfortable. We don't need to have certain things at our wedding, but it was still very nice. Maybe one day I'll show you guys pictures. It's all in a zip folder though, and it's like 45 gigs. So I gotta have a place to open it because I don't think my computer has the space for it right now to open that up, and it's like waiting in Dropbox. But it was very cool. There's pictures on my Instagram too. And if you don't know, my Instagram is literally right here, the JO.MC.FO and then shadow boxers. I might need more water. Okay, let's keep drawing. Let's keep drawing. I keep going back and forth on this detail of Asim's beard. If I wanted to like have this kind of connecting line, I think it would look better. I think it would look better that way. Yeah. There we go. I feel one of the things I also need to work on is not zooming in too much, because I think that's what also makes me take a long time with my drawings. So let me do these over again on like how big and monotonous some of these curls are looking. But yeah, I often zoom in so much when I draw that it just becomes a burden, because I'm always about that clean line art, but then I realize ain't nobody gonna see that. I have to actively think about it. Oh shoot. Pro tip: buy a hard drive for your wedding photos and personal documents. I do have an external hard drive. I do. Gotta go. Dogs want to go out. My fiance's home from work. Have a good night. Good night, Mars. Thank you for coming on, my friend. How do you like to sketch ideas for your comic pages digitally, or do you use paper first? I have been doing it digitally. I don't know if that's the best format. I mean, that's part of what this comic is like testing, because there's so many things that I just don't know. You know, like one thing I learned is I have to do things very specific, like in a very specific order, because before I was doing things kind of randomly. I was like, oh, let me do this and do this, and it just slowed down everything. So I think, with the exception of this live stream, I'm inking, but ordinarily I would probably just be doing some more pencils. But considering some of the things requires a little extra thought, like as far as perspective and backgrounds and things like that, I didn't do it today. But yeah, it might change. I might start doing it on paper at some point and switch it up. But it's also really nice to just be really like just have it all in one page. It's really convenient. Tali says, how's your New Year's been, Jordan? New Year's has been good. What's been happening? Spending a lot of time with family, church-related stuff. We had a friend go back home to the Philippines recently, so we had him over. We had dinner, and we watched some movies. We watched a Goofy movie and Sound of Music. He's a musician, so that's one of his favorites. I'd never seen it, and after he left, I started going like, "So long, farewell," and I was like, "Oh, this is a cool movie." I see the hype. I understand it. That's a lopsided. That's a lopsided fro. Let's fix that. Seam needs a little bit more freshness. Yeah. But yeah, we had a good time. There's been a couple of crises that have occurred. Nothing crazy severe. No, health issues or no deaths in the family, thankfully, or anything like that. But there have been some challenging aspects. I won't go into that too much, but overall, I'm very thankful. I am, I like this new chapter in my life, and it's different. It's different than anything I've ever really experienced, but I am enjoying things. Plus, got into some cool new shows, or maybe not new shows, but I've been watching Severance. Severance is epic if you guys haven't seen that. Obviously had to watch the end of Stranger Things, and I have mixed thoughts on it. I don't think I have like the strongest reactions like a lot of other people on the internet have had, because a lot of people are like, this sucked, and like the whole conformity gate thing, that was silly. But yeah, got into that. And what else? Another show that we just started watching. Oh, we watched Samurai Champloo. I haven't seen the show in so many years, but it is so good. It was so good. We've just been blasting Nujabes throughout the house. It's been excellent. And I remember why my art book is so special now. And actually, I got to show you guys, because you may or may not remember. But hold on a second, I got to show you something. So I have this book here, Samurai Champloo, or Battle Cry of the Art of Samurai Champloo. I got this book in 2012 when I was 17. I was 17 years old. I bought this for $40, and it's a really cool art book, and it has a lot of the production art in it. It's kind of weird though, because there's certain things that are in it multiple times, like this drawing of why not this page? There's a page with Fu in it. Hold on, I gotta find the page now. Where are you? Yeah, like this drawing of Fu here on when she's sticking her booty out. That drawing is like, appears like 3 times in the book for some reason. I don't know why, but it's very well put together. The binding is still very nice. There's no like loose edges or anything. I bought this for $40, but the company who sells the book went out of business a long time ago, and now if you go on Amazon, it's worth like $1,200. And so after rewatching the series, I was like, we have a $1,200 book in the house based on this show, and it's so awesome. The one regret, the foreword was written by a guy named LaShawn Thomas. Let me go over here. LaShawn Thomas, he worked on the Boondocks. He worked on Legend of Korra, Hydration Check. And he is one of my favorite artists of all time. The crazy thing, I happened to meet him the day I bought this book. He was walking down the artist alley at the convention that I was at, and I met him that day. I didn't know he had written the foreword of the book, and I had already bought it. And so I got home and I checked, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And I remember there was another time I had a chance to meet him. I was going to New York, and I was going to New York Comic Con, and he was doing a talk there, and I got a chance to meet him that day. But I had a choice between having him sign that book or his actual art book that's also on my shelf, because I had my bag stuffed with clothes for the weekend, and I could not fit both books at the same time without them getting like super destroyed. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I never got a chance for him to sign that one. It was a sad event, but it's okay. I think he's like in Japan working on anime productions now. So, he's living his best life. Probably will never get signed. But I bring that up to say, like, I bet it would have been worth more if I got him to sign the book. Because, like, how many people, would have this book and then also have it signed by him? Like, that's got to be a really small number of people. So, yeah. So if we ever have like a really, really bad financial crisis, then I might have to sell it. But it has to be real serious. Like, it has to be, look, we got 2 crumbs and an apple left. We need food. Then that's when I would sell it, if it was even valuable at that point. But yeah, it's a nice part of my collection. That's my thing, you guys. I collect art books. So much so that my shelf is actually packed to the brim. I can barely fit another book in there, and I had the nerve to go to Barnes & Noble today, talk about where are the art books at. So It's just my thing, y'all. You can always eat the coyotes. I can't do that, man. First off, I don't even know how I would achieve that. How I would even get to the point where they were able to be eaten. I don't know what you got to cook that thing at. I don't know how I would even capture it. So yeah, I know you're joking, but that would be a feat in and of itself, and also getting me to eat meat because I haven't eaten meat in how long has it been? 10 years now. I haven't eaten meat in 10 years. At least not consciously. At least not knowingly. Ooh, that's not that one. I made some slight updates to this robe that Asim is wearing. Um, there's a slight difference in the slit in the cape here, or in the robe. So I just got to make sure that I capture that, because doing something like this and having him like cross his arms, I have to ask questions like, okay, at what point do his elbows kind of poke out of the robe? Is it more like inner, like is he kind of pulling his elbows in like this? So I'm not really sure all the time. I'm still figuring it out. Necessity is the mother of invention. And that is true. Also, pressure cooker. Yeah, I don't know about all that. I would sooner forage for berries or something like that. Why is the door open? Oh, okay. I guess there's the wind. I thought there was a cat coming in, but no. Unless they pushed it open and walked away, there was no cat coming. Oh. Yeah. It was my wife. She came in the room, or pushed the door open at least. Yeah. All right. So how do I do this? Let's switch out the song again. Although I don't know if you guys can even hear it. Apparently y'all can't hear it half the time. There's deer around here. We could eat them first. Yeah, we could eat the deer. I almost hit a deer one time. We were driving home late, and I've never been in that situation where an animal just comes right in front of the car, and you don't know until you're going 70 miles an hour, and it's about 15 feet in front of you. That's when you find out that there's a deer in front of your car. And thankfully, I was able to swerve out of the way, didn't hit him or anything. But yeah, that happened. I was like, what the heck is this? Because you don't see that in LA. You don't hit deer in LA, maybe on the outskirts. But, deer walking on the 5 freeway or the 10 freeway. Come on now. That's ridiculous. So yeah, having to learn to manage that. So another difference, though, in driving is you don't want to honk at people for anything. Like, I'm legit afraid to do that because in Texas, you're allowed to have weapons in your car, like legally. And I'm like, you know what? I could catch someone on the wrong day and, cause an issue. I don't want those kind of problems. So I just sit there patiently while he's going 20 miles an hour on a 50-mile-an-hour road, try and speed up and outrace him. Oh dear. Oh yes, Mark with the puns. I missed it. We missed the puns, man. We missed the puns. Let's see. So if he's crossing his arms like this. Trying to figure out how this cloth would work. By the way, guys, we Oh wait, let me read this comment. Meanwhile, I honk at people. Never used to do that until I came to Texas. Yeah, it's a different level of threat threat when it's a grown man honking at another grown man who might be strapped. You never know. It's a different level of threat. But yeah, I'm like, go honk at them because they're silly. They're very silly people driving. Before I forget, guys, I just want to remind you all that on wait, hold on, let me find the thing. On our store, we do have a 15% off coupon code B-Day Bash, 50% off of everything in the store at your disposal. It closes tomorrow night at midnight, and we do have physical copies of our books here. For those of you who are in the comments and have gotten a book, let me know what you guys think of it, and share if you think it's awesome. And if you don't think it's awesome, then just lie. Just lie and tell people that it's awesome. But yeah, we have physical and digital copies available. There's a link in the description for that. And if you also want to support us in another way, you could give to our tip jar or join one of the dojo tiers. That is something that is brand new that we're trying out. And so yeah, let's see what y'all do with that. Kathy's not afraid to throw hands. She might not be. I've never seen it, but she might not be. I don't know. Kathy doesn't throw hands, she throws honks. That, you know what? We should put that on a shirt. That's another shirt thing. I don't throw hands, I throw honks with a little horn symbol. That would be excellent. I would love to see that. I would love it. And if we ever do get that shirt made, I'll make sure that one day she comes on the stream and wears it for you guys, so you can see how serious we are. But I feel like LA will be scarier, TBH. Got some crazy Nepo babies on the road. It's just, well, the drivers are just as scary out here as far as what they do on the road. Like, just, was it yesterday? Today's Sunday? Yeah, yesterday. I was driving down the street, and there were three of us in the car, and the green light hit, and there was a big semi truck coming, like one of those big 18-wheelers that you see at Walmart, and I would start driving out into the intersection, and I was like, you know what, he's going a little too fast to be going to a stop. And I just went stop right there, and mind you, the green light had been there for about 3 seconds, and this truck just goes right on past. I'm like, what in the world? Like, if I had gone, this stream would not have been happening. I'll just be real with you. He was going fast and furious in that car. I was like, what the heck is going on here? I have not seen that in LA. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I have not seen it. So LA, it can be scary, I guess, but maybe it's because I'm used to it. But the worst you get is like a Karen or something yelling at you. It's like, I'm gonna record you because you're dumb, and you might get that. But yeah, or the real scary thing is when there's like an 8-car pile up on the freeway. That does happen sometimes. I thankfully have never been a victim of that. Kathy says I'm a silly goose. Mark says, making my way downtown, driving fast, faces passing, I'm homebound. Every time I hear that song, I think of Terry Crews and White Chicks. That was one of the funniest things I ever seen as a 9-year-old. I don't even know who sang that song. I just know it because of him in that movie. I didn't know how famous that song was. I just thought it was something that was like, that's something that just passed away with time. But we still remember. I keep switching into a different brush or something. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm still thinking of my Photoshop settings for some reason. By the way, I have basically like quit using Photoshop. I haven't opened it in months. I still paint better in Photoshop, but as far as drawing goes, oh my gosh, I have not even tried it. It's not worth it anymore. The slow speed, the price. I'm like, why the heck would I do that? Why in the world would I risk my sanity for this? I've had a couple people go like, Jordan, do we really need this Photoshop right now? I'm like, nah, I'll use Clip Studio. It's all good. We'll figure out a solution. Yeah. I just downloaded Affinity the other day, though. I haven't used it yet, but I'm curious. Has anyone here used it? And if so, what do you guys think about it? Is it worth? Was it worth the hype? One thing I saw that was cool is it has like a vector mode, a pixel mode, and there's another a layout mode or something. Like it's like Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator all in one, apparently, which is really cool. You don't know the great Vanessa Carlton, Sacrilege. Well, now I do. I know her now. Yeah, I didn't know her name though. Yeah, to me that's kind of like on the same level as not knowing that Stevie Wonder didn't sing "She's a Bad Mama Jamma," although he didn't write it and produced it. The guy Carl Carlton who sings it sounds just like him, but it is not Stevie Wonder. All right, let's see. You know what? I think I changed angle. It's right here. There we go. I gotta go and eat dinner with the fam. Glad I could join the return of your streaming sessions. Thank you, Khalid. I appreciate you. Tell the family I said hello. And it's okay because I'm only gonna be on for about 12, 13 more minutes anyway. So you got like the whole thing. Mark says, I tried using Affinity, but haven't actually used it. I do know you can import your Photoshop brushes in it. Oh, that's cool. That's cool to know. I haven't used their Photoshop equivalent. The transparency lock thing weirded me out, but I have used their AI and InDesign versions. Okay. And AI is Illustrator before some of y'all freak out. I'm used to my Krita shortcuts. I've never used Krita. I think I probably only heard about it from you, honestly, like what it's like. So yeah. By the way, guys, I'm just curious. If I were to just do a stream and do less talking, would that bug you guys? Would it make you fall asleep? Because as far as like productivity wise, I might get further if I didn't, but I also don't want to have boring streams because I know that if I watch something and no one's talking, I might get a little bored. But I'm curious to know what y'all think. You guys like the pacing of it, or are you like, man, I wish Jordan would stop talking sometimes, or I wish he would get a little further in the drawing? So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. I'm curious. You know. That little spotlight right here. Something else I realized when I process, I think at this stage, because I'm still so new to, you know, working in this way, I don't know if I'm going to use vector layers anymore. The way I draw is like I redraw the same line to get the thickness, and for vector lines, it really messes up. So I think I'm just gonna do raster and hope that I don't have to blow these things up because it's a little challenging for me. So it's a productivity thing. And I think I could probably convert to vectors later, but I remember I was doing some sketches, in Clip Studio. I was practicing different people's styles. I was practicing Sun Kim's style, who's one of my favorites, and I was just inking practically in raster. Like I was just flowing. So that's something else I'm just gonna try out. Um, I may come to regret that decision later, but so far I don't. So far I'm not having an issue with it. Because like if I'm trying to transform something later, that's where it becomes a problem. Um, Mark says it depends. If you tell people that today's stream will be mostly silent, they still watch, maybe respond to one or two questions. Okay, that's fair. I stopped using them for the brush I use specifically. It doesn't scale or erase well at all. Um, yeah, it's kind of annoying. Like um, it's a great tool, but it's like for what I'm trying to do, it might not be worth it. I love the chance to talk to one of my favorite independent visual artists. That is the sweetest thing ever. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Tali. So the stream would be background noise without you talking while I'm working. Okay. Okay. So I'll keep the flow as much as possible. If I notice that things are getting a little slow, then I'll make adjustments. But I really appreciate that, Tali. That is so kind. Also, one of the other cool things, like since I have disappeared from YouTube, StreamYard has come up with some cool new perks. Like now y'all can see the stream on the thing, and I technically don't even have to click on them anymore because that was one thing that slowed me down. And I'm clicking on it now because one, it just makes it easier to read, but two, it is a habit. But I'm like, wait, y'all can see I guess I can see the comments and y'all can see it, and because sometimes what happens is if I ever decide to rewatch the video, I don't know what comments are what unless I click on them. So like the conversation feels disjointed. So um, yeah, and I have rewatched a couple of my streams before, not like all the way through, um, but I have watched pieces of it. It's really surreal watching myself draw and comment. I do. The one thing about vector erasers that I do like is just how quickly it erases some of these lines. I will miss that. Good deal. You're welcome, and to Jordan too. I'll probably end up having to like redraw some of these. Actually, let's just remove it because I have a feeling these arms are gonna kind of come in and change the way I'm going about this. Um, yeah, and since there's only a couple minutes left, I wanted to ask you guys: um, is there something that you would like to see me do in live streams? Um, I have no problem keeping it the same format, but I'm very curious. What do you guys think of the length? Is 2 hours too much? Is it just right? Do you wish I would go longer? Do you guys want to see me, tackle other art things like have a whole stream on how to draw arms or hands or something like that? I'm very, very curious to know what you guys want to see. Dance more? Heck no, I ain't doing that. Art related stuff, bro. Art related. Nah, what's funny is there's one art prop video of me dancing and people will not let that go. Like people still remember that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was like 6 years ago, man. Like cut it out. Um, Traditional art with charcoal. Okay, that's not happening. Okay, now y'all are getting silly. Something I can do digitally. I can find a charcoal brush, but yeah, no, charcoal is my nemesis. Oh my gosh. Um, it's just it's dirty, it's irritating, and yeah. Toasty Shrimp says, I don't know, 10K subscriber stream idea. Well, I gotta get the others first. And oh, by the way, I forgot to thank everyone. I actually did hit 1,000 subscribers in the time that I stopped streaming. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate y'all. Um, More side characters. Okay, more side characters. I gotta write the side characters, but yes, we can do some of that. Um, like character designs and and figuring out how to put them in the world. Actually, one of the tiers, one of the dojo tiers, is you guys get to appear in the comic, which is pretty cool. Um, so yeah, uh, this is where you guys say you want me and Kathy on more. That well, if she's comfortable with it, I don't see that being a problem. She works right here, so she can pop in and maybe even read some of the chat. Um, so yeah, if you want to see her, just say it in the comments. Mark says, I don't like charcoal. It's dirty and sticky and gets everywhere. Anakin Skyjar. Oh, that's a good one. Skyjar. That's kind of a cool name. But Megan said, okay, we're going to have to bring Kathy on more. So I will talk to her after the stream and see how she feels about that. Maybe the next stream she'll be on or not. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but yeah, we'll have her on. And I was expecting one of the cats to pop in the video because the little one, Hina, she likes to jump on my desk. And like when I'm working, she'll go like, "Hey, there's cords back here. This is pretty cool." And I have to like literally kind of toss her off the desk. She lands fine, but I'm like, "No, you can't do that." And she's walking all over my stuff, my books, getting paw prints on my precious materials. Can't have that. Um, Kathy and Megan. Okay. Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. I think I read that wrong before. Explore more of the world building and other stories that are in the Shadowboxers universe. Oh, okay. That's a cool one. That's a cool one. I have been trying to think of ways to do that. It's kind of tough because there's so much like in just this project right now. But yes, I definitely will do some videos exploring the lore and things like that. Those might be shorter videos. I'll see because I want to put it like in the comic too. Um, but yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. Good suggestions though. Good suggestions. But yeah, just so you guys know, if you ever suggest charcoal, it's an automatic no from me, dog. That is going to be a quick rejection. That's like the fastest way to get a no from me. I don't even have charcoal. I don't even know if there's an art store around me, honestly. Like, even if I wanted to do that, I don't know where I would get the stuff unless I got it off Amazon. And I don't always want to buy off Amazon. And not even for like moral reasons. Sometimes I'm just tired of seeing the boxes appear at the front door. Some people are like, I'm boycotting Amazon. Like, all right, that's cool, but whatever. Um, one of my cats chews on the door stopper only when he wants to be annoying. They chew on our door stopper too. The other day, I walked by the door and I saw that one of the door stoppers was on the ground, and I was like, Yasha, what the heck, bro? This isn't food. This isn't churro. What do you do? Or however the cat meal is called. This isn't cat person. This isn't kibble. It's a freaking door stopper. Okay, I don't know if I guess his hand would kind of appear here, but you wouldn't see all of it. All right, y'all. So here's what we worked on. We did Javen and Asim both kind of doing their expressions. But I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Like I said, it has been a long time since I've been on here, and I want to thank you guys for making me feel welcome back to YouTube, um, and for coming out my birthday stream. Like you guys could have been anywhere else on a Sunday evening, but you guys came here to watch me draw. Maybe you guys drew a little something yourself, and just say happy birthday and continue with the journey. So again, I'm just going to do my last little announcements. Again, if you want 15% off, go put B-Day Bash in the store. This is the only place I'll be posting it. I'm not posting on Instagram or anything like that. This is specifically for y'all who are on the stream because y'all came to support. The new website is up and running. There's a fan art gallery. There's a new homepage where we have actually some of the lore. Like we have some of the stuff about the prisms, so get rid of the pop-up. The prisms and the regions and stuff like that. We also have like our free Discord community. Some of you guys may or may not be a part of it. And yeah, if you guys want to continue supporting, please do so. And again, from now on, at least until I make another announcement, streaming 2 times a week. So it is Sunday and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. All right. So again, thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, Tali, for thinking that it was cool. And we'll see y'all in a few days. Take care. Peace.